Are you guys ready to pop the lid of your creative uses today and stop waiting for the permission you never needed? Yes. Good. Because for the last 25 years, all I've done is actually spot problems and finding creative ways to fix them. But I'm going to take you on a trip to my childhood, and I want you to buckle up, okay? Because this is a tiny 4-seater, mostly filled by diapers, and those diapers are mine. Because when you fly over 33,000 capybaras, 250 anacondas, 8,000 deers, rivers filled with piranhas and crocodiles, you want backup. But where I got really lucky, right, was that my father, as a cattle ranching operation, understood that supporting wildlife was making the cattle ranching better. And that's what opened the door for me to live wildlife the way I lived it. So this is my backyard. And yes, that is me, completely soaked. I mean, soaked. You can see it in the bottom of my pants of anaconda pee. Turns out that when you pull a 12-foot anaconda, the one that holds the tail gets a golden shower. But here, really, what I was learning was to see problems everywhere. I mean, do we agree that I had a problem right there? Right? I had to keep holding because the biologist next to me was tiny. And face to face was my friend that I know this guy since childhood. We grew up together, right? So I had to keep holding. And I had to keep holding not because it was pleasant, but because it mattered. So I was learning here to see problems as invitations to find solutions. When this was done, I had two options. I had the option to go home and take a shower and call it off, or I had the option to be part of the solution, because I knew that the cattle ranching alone could not maintain economically the entire infrastructure that was necessary to support wildlife. Why are we talking about this today? It's because wrestling nature taught me how to navigate the even wilder world of business and creativity. And I'm going to show you how. Wildlife shaped the first 25 years of my life. The next set of my 25 years shaped all my companies. But what's the coolest part is that I'm here with you guys, taking notes on these lessons too, because I'm planning to use these same lessons in my third, best yet to come, set of 25 years of my life. Yes, I'm 50. If you do the math. And why is so important? Because we need to stay relevant. Relevant is not an option, it's urgent. Our world is changing. I saw someone is talking about AI. Oh my goodness. I bet you no one knows where we're going. So we need to stay relevant, right? In my personal case, I'm a single mom of an 8-year-old. So staying relevant is not an option, it's a promise, right? And we're living longer because longevity is getting real and real by the day. So staying relevant, it's very important today. I don't want to make this talk about me, but I hope that through my story, as quick as I can, I show you how nature helped me manage my mental game, and you can reconnect with a problem-solving you. All those permissions the world makes us think we need, we don't. So because I jumped so radically from one industry to the next, someone showed me you need to show something that you've built, otherwise they're not going to believe your wild animal stories. So I'll show you, and then you see and you take a pic. But I'm going to tell you that I didn't build this because I had a plan. Or I thought, oh, am I qualified? No, I built this because I got really curious. And we see curiosity as distraction. And I want to tell you today that curiosity is your compass. Because someone told me in my face that all I was very distracted. And I'm like, no. Creativity starts when something small bugs you. And I'm not saying that this anaconda is exactly small, but it did bug me, right? Creativity begins when we notice something is off. Yes? Everybody's with me? Okay. So I want to invite you today to start thinking what's bugging you. Okay? Because that's how we're going to find solutions. I've been always a problem solver, but in my early 20s, I still thought that I needed to follow my passion first. And I came to New York to study fashion design at Parsons, right? And the most valuable lesson that I learned was not color theory or how to make pretty dresses. It was how to take criticism without a flinch. And what happened is that on my first homework, the first set of dresses I dared to draw because I drew so bad got totally eaten by the teacher. She criticized me, guys, so fiercely that I just had to close my eyes. And I went to that scene that is so well known to me, where it's back in my backyard, right? Where it's lunchtime and piranha is eating a cow alive. This is so aggressive, right? That you close your eyes and you don't move, because if you move, it makes it easier for the piranha to eat you alive. You don't defend. So I found self-respect and a promise to keep iterating, and at graduation time, I closed the graduating show with that dress, the biggest honor of the night. So then, that day, I remember another scene, and I didn't want you guys to see that because that's really ugly to see. But then I saw another scene in the river when crocodile is eating the piranha. Oh, a little reminder from nature that even piranhas get eaten by crocodiles and by humans, and planting chips on the side, right? So maybe it's not about having the strongest teeth, but it's about finding self-respect and keep showing up. So because I stopped asking for approval of that teacher, I could unlock my creativity juices. So today, I want to tell you that criticism is not a death sentence. I kept going, and thank you that I didn't have her approval, and I didn't care, and I didn't succumb to her criticism. I had a line, which spread coast to coast. But I quickly noticed that all my clients had the same problems. And it was not just that they couldn't pronounce my name, Maxime, either, right? And they started calling me the pant lady. It was that they couldn't sell pants except mine. I had a problem myself. I wasn't just designing pants, right, for my body proportions. It's very technical to go in here, but imagine a cone, like a scissor ring. That's how I started designing pants, right? So I created an alternative to jeans, and it became successful. So the success of the pants actually got me an invitation from Parsons to create and design a whole new curriculum for business and entrepreneurship for designers. And had I stayed back in Venezuela in my perfect label in my mind, I'm an economist, because that's what I was studying there, and that's what I did there, right? I would have not dared to come to fashion. A lot of people ask me, why a person that have a perfect job? It's in the 30th floor of this super renowned bank. Yeah, the C-suite is right there, right? Why would you go to do fashion in New York, right? I was living in what I call now the identity land, where 85% of your time is thinking what other thinks about you. And breaking from that is really hard. And yes, nature told me how to break out from it too, right? And it was these capybaras. You want to know something funny? I've seen more rodents than any New Yorker. Yes, we had 33,000 of them. We had to count them every year. Click, 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 click. I see you. Okay? They have the perfect fur. But one day I saw this guy. He was wearing a mohawk. I'm like, oh my God. I'm sure he didn't question, oh, I come from the perfect capybara family. My fur has to be perfect. I bet you he was seeing the world like this. So my biggest thing is coming, and that was not a leap. It was like a massive free fall to the unknown, because we were creating a concept that there was no reference for it, right? And we were set to do these plays that had this food that was like gluten-free, seed oils free, plastic free, everything free. You know, so free, guys, that when you're paying the top dollar and you have no clue what you're paying for, that free. So, yeah, and I had no clue. I had no reference, no background, no nothing. And it just, something magical happened. Even Superman came, because this was a solution about showing what happens when you change food and make food that actually makes you powerful again instead of sick. It's powerful like Superman, right? And these made me finally get to Vogue. And it was not with my pants after all these years of fashion, which kind of sucks. But I stopped trying, and I got involved with the crackers that we had. So I learned that this day when I'm standing in front of this mother crocodile that almost ate me, right? And what I tell you with this is that we need to embrace uncertainty as humans. And we were going to talk a lot about Fire and Flight and how she just was dealing with her own uncertainty. The last thing I want to talk with you guys is the elephant in the room. And no, I know that there's no elephants in South America, but I bet you one went bird watching over there because it chases me. And it's the excuse everyone gives me for when it's facing creativity. Everything is done, and creativity goes, wah, 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 wah. Right? Okay. So, yeah, I made that guy jump for a photo, and it's a very impressive 3-meter jump of this crocodile. He didn't think like, oh, I need to be original. River dolphins are the ones jumping. I can jump. I have short limbs, right? Those are frogs that can jump. No, he got hungry. So he pulled his ingenuity. So today, I want you guys to stand up really, really, really quick, if you guys don't mind, because I want you guys to commit yourself to embrace the crocodile, because I brought something for you. And it's this bag, this clip for bread bags, that's something there to do better, right? Less original? No. Right? So I want you guys to free yourself from originality, the idea, the obsession that you need a novel. Look for a problem, close your eyes, and look to through your home. Look for a problem, something that's bugging you, something that's more expensive. If you don't face it, that's when you know you have your problem. And now I want you guys to read this with me, the white letters, out loud. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be curious. You don't need applause. You need integrity. You don't need a label. You need to let go. You don't need to be original. You need to be hungry to be ingenious. Thank you.